Hello, hello. My microphone, it just came back on. How are you guys? Hello and welcome. It is Wednesday night. I feel like I'm on the late night shift. Welcome in the chat. We have Lakeisha, we have Geraldine. How are you? We have Simply Taisha, we have Z. I see Tammy. Hi, Tammy. How are you? We have Mail to the B. Hello, hello. So tonight, I don't know if you saw the title, but tonight we're talking about I should have put GLP-1s, but I specifically said can Mounjaro and Zepbound can they support how can they support your weight loss? I mean your menopause belly and all that goes on with that menopause weight gain. So let me just go to my little banners here. Here is the question. How can Mounjaro and Zepbound help with menopause? So in the chat, how you guys experience, is anybody going through menopause? I think I'm in the middle of a hot flash right now. Is anybody currently going through menopause right now? Or is anybody in menopause? Are you perimenopausal? I am perimenopausal, so I have not gone through the change yet. I should check my app. I use this app called the Maya app, and it tracks my cycles. And I haven't had a cycle in a very long time. So I can't even remember when the last one I had. So I'm going to my little Maya app right now, and I'm going to check and see. So you have to go 12 long months before you're considered in menopause. So I love when you guys abbreviate. So Taisha says she's peri and perimenopause. Lakeisha, she says no, she's not in menopause yet. So let me see. So this is April. I'm gonna. Oh gosh, they're giving me the app because I don't pay for the app. You have commercials. So, but they don't let you click off. You gotta wait. So when it comes back where I can actually go on the site, I could tell you guys exactly when I've had my last cycle. I want to know. I want to know now. Mel says she went through it in her 30s due to the total hysterectomy. Oh my gosh, yes, I remember. And you're so knowledgeable about all of that. So I like how you took control. Knowledge, I always say, is power. So you went through it in your 30s. That's so young. Yeah, so Z, you are in menopause. Jeez Louise. Debbie, old and dead inside. No. So you went through that change. Debbie, I think you're in your 60s. Let me turn this fan on because I feel like I'm getting hot. Maybe I need to take off my little sweatshirt and then I'll be cold. It's just I go through it. I'm hot and then I'm cold. So, oh geez, I'm still on estradiol. I remember the dial, and testosterone though. Okay, very good, very good. Same here, Mel, but I was left with an ovary, so I'm saying one. I guess and means one. You're 64, 64. I love that. Look how full of life and energy you are. I love that. Tammy says, I feel like they can. GLP-1s and especially are especially beneficial according to my healthcare provider if it's coupled with the HRT. I'm in menopause and on HRT. So that HRT, I hear a lot about that. My doctor is so against that HRT, and I don't think right now it can help me with my sleep, I'm sure. But I hear a lot of people chatting about that. She says, oh, okay, Z, I have nothing in there. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You went through it in 60 when you were 60. Hey, Kim J, sweet healthy life. How are you? How are you? Hi, Nadia. How are you? How are you? Simply Taisha says, I am on estradiol and waiting for the VA pharmacies to send the testosterone gel. I was finally prescribed today. Woohoo, that's right. You went to the doctor today. Wow, that is so cool. So you'll have to keep us posted and let us know how that works. Let us know how that works. So the question is of the night. I see that mail that attracted my attention. Dee Dee, it can help. You're just not ready. Maybe you'll never be. Possibly not. You never know with me. Hi, Butterfly. How are you? How are you? So, okay, so we're gonna answer that question now. Did you guys watch the Oprah special on menopause? She has the special, And I think Taisha watched what was on, and now you could have gone back, Taisha, but I think I remember you saying you watched what was on her YouTube channel, right? She has this kind of like a series where she talks about menopause. And so, but I actually watched that ABC special she had on. And I thought it just kind of, it reminded me of maybe Menopause 101 for people who didn't know anything about it or had not heard anything about it. So I think it was good for that. But I did learn a couple of good nuggets from that special. So let me go back to this little question because I want to stay focused. So we're asking, how can Zepbound and Mounjaro help with menopause? So before we answer that question, let's talk about the Oprah special. I don't know. Did you guys watch it? Because then I'll just tell you my thoughts. I don't know. Yeah, see, you watched. Good. Mel watched. Okay, very good. Anybody else watched? So, one of the things that Oprah talked about was heart palpitations as a symptom of menopause. And I didn't realize that was a symptom of menopause. I think I heard her talking about it for a long time. I remember she said that, in some of her stories. I personally have not experienced that. And I guess that's when your heart is kind of, just, making you feel like, something is wrong there, and she didn't know that was the first associated with menopause. She didn't know what was going on. So I just think that symptom, heart disease is such a such a terrible thing, and it's one of the leading causes of death. You would think that would be on a doctor's radar right away. They would, be able to identify what was causing that. So I thought that was interesting, when she talked about, her symptom and how it was kind of overlooked. And then, one thing that another thing they talked about was how it affects your capacity to, really think and rationalize, and, the cognitive function of your brain. And I think, we kind of laugh and joke a lot of times about having a brain fog or having a moment or having a thought. And I always associate it with just old age, because my dad has that too. But I guess in women, that's a sign of, going through the change and menopause and all that goes on with your hormones and your thoughts. So she talked about how it affected her concentration. And, I can relate to that, especially being a teacher and always have to be on and thinking. And, when people know you're an educator, the expectations are high. And so you have to be on. And so when I get that brain fog, I'm always like, where did that come from? Where did that come from? I always just thought it was old age. I never associated it with being in menopause at all. And so another thing they talked about, and we talk about a lot, I see it a lot in these GOP1 chats. They talked about advocating for yourself and having your doctor do tests. And so, and when I was going through my perimenopause situation with the heavy bleeding, one of the things I did was I demanded a biopsy. I said, I want to have a biopsy. I want to make sure that everything is going on, that's going on in there is, it's okay. I didn't want it to be cancer or anything like that. I didn't want to, I don't like when you go to the doctor and they guess what's going on with you. I kind of want to do tests and I want to know. So that was how I advocated for myself. And, the doctor she was not against it, but you could tell she kind of thought it was not necessary. But it really just made me feel better knowing that, I had that test done. And so another thing they talked about is, how people have such a wide variety of symptoms that from being on YouTube and researching and doing these lives and talking about the 50 symptoms, and actually it's 100 symptoms of menopause. It's like everything you do can be connected to that, because it all connects back to your hormones and how your hormones are functioning in your body. And then one of the things too I like that they talked about is like breaking the silence. And I think one of the reasons why women don't talk about menopause and symptoms with menopause, because I think it can be embarrassing. I think, we're not taught to talk about, even say like, remember, wasn't it Oprah that started saying vajayjay? Like, people don't even say the word vagina. We have code for our private parts and our private areas. And so we're always taught not to really talk about that. That's not ladylike. That's not classy. And I think also, it's embarrassing. Some of these symptoms are kind of embarrassing. So I think that's probably why people don't necessarily talk about it. And so they talked about the importance of, you know, if you have sisters, if you have daughters, and I really think it starts with like if you have children, you know, because a lot of what we learn and do is kind of how we were raised and brought up. And if you're somebody that doesn't have children and you have, you know, any women that you're close to, you know, sisters, you know, talking about those things with them, I think is so helpful. So that was kind of my takeaway, you know, from the Oprah show. I really didn't learn anything so new because I was kind of familiar with that. You know, one of the things that Halle Berry, you know, talked about on there was, I thought this was a great idea. Did anybody catch this? She said, you know, basically, let's celebrate the fact that we're in menopause. Isn't that a mind shift? We talk about that with weight loss too. She talked about celebrating the fact that you're having, you're going into menopause. And when you switch over and you get to that 365th day and you transition over into menopause, she talked about having a celebration, a party, and having your family throw you the party. And I love how Oprah said, even if your family doesn't throw you the party, you throw yourself the party. So I thought that was a cool idea. You know, you invite your girlfriends, and I'm going to tell you, I'm doing that. I'm going to have, when I get in, you know, finally get in menopause and get all the way in, you guys are going to hear about it. You know, you might see some video because I'm going to throw myself a party and I'm going to welcome it in. And I really think, like, you know, life and everything else is really about how you handle things and kind of like your attitude. So I think that that's a great idea. And I, for one, am going to throw myself a menopause party. Welcome, menopause. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. So what are you guys saying in this chat? What are you guys saying in the chat? So who saw Oprah and what are you saying? Let's see. Did I miss something? Okay, I'm trying to go back up in the chat and see if I missed something. Simply Tyson says she watched the Oprah special only on YouTube. Tammy, she says she watched the special. It creates more awareness and hopefully more funding. Yes, that's a good point. Funding for women's health during childbearing years. Yes, yes, yes. And, you know, so there was a lady on there who had, she went through the change when she was in her late 30s. And, you know, I just feel, you know, bad for, you know, these ladies in their 30s that are going through that so early because, you know, you expect it in your late 40s and 50s. So, yeah, it's just, I felt really bad, but, you know, I think that, you know, having awareness is, you know, basically what we need. Just stopped in to say hello. Probably won't be able to offer any insight on this one. No, but if you have a mom, sisters, cousins, whatever you have going on with women in your life, a wife, you know, a girlfriend, this is something that you could, you know, share with them. In this community, we've been discussing perimenopause and menopause for a while now. Yes, we have. It's a real thing. It's probably because I'm going through all these changes. Due to certain issues, my doctor is unwilling to prescribe HRT for me. Yes, and my doctor is too, Nadia. And not that I have issues. She just thinks it causes cancer. Dare I say that? And she just was totally against it. And you know what? Her assistant told me that, like her nurse's assistant. I'm yet to have a conversation with her. And we were supposed to do that on when was that? When I went in February. We're gonna have the discussion in May because I told her I got so sidetracked with everything else going on. So yeah. Yes, the brain fog is real. Yes, I experienced that on live a couple of times. Like the brain fog is a real thing. Postmenopause is one of the reasons I'm on Zepbound. Panic attacks, weight gain, brain fog, hot flashes, and mood swings. Yes, yes, yes. And we know, you know, Zepbound and Mounjaro, and I'm sure Ozempic and, you know, Wegovy, you know, because it helps with weight loss. Weight loss is really the key. Weight loss is what's going to, you know, help with all these symptoms. And we know that Zepbound, you know, is going to help with that weight loss. Mounjaro is helping with weight loss. And once you start losing weight and you start controlling, you know, what you're eating and the nutrients and minerals you're taking in, all of that helps to play a role in helping with your menopause symptoms, helping with sleep. I know you guys, aren't you familiar with, what's her name? Dr. I don't want to get her name wrong. Her name is Dr. Mary Claire. You know, I see some of her Instagram reels, and I've seen some of her shorts, videos where she talks about all things perimenopause and menopause. And I don't know what's her name on here. Her name is Nicole, but Bellflower. She sent me this Instagram reel where she was talking about, basically how GLP-1s can help you, when you're going through menopause. Like, what exactly can they do? So we're going to talk about that. We're going to get to that, exactly what they can do, from her perspective. Oh, yeah, geez, thank you for being here. Hey, Delilah. There are serious consequences with sexual health that some of us women refuse to acknowledge. Dryness on the inside of your vagina, bit even on the outside, atrophy of the vaginal area messes with your sex drive. Now, you know what? I did not, Mel, thank you for the super chat. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Now, I did not know, I don't know why it's not showing. Let's see. Let me see. Am I supposed to push something? Let's see. This is a little different than YouTube, but it says her super chat says perimenopause is where the chaos lives, said the doctor. In other words, those are the most debilitating years for many women. Yeah, debilitating years for many women. Yes. Leading up to that, I know, I agree too, because that's when really all those symptoms are kicking in. That's when you're first starting to, experience that estrogen, decline. So yeah, all of that is really, is what is, I agree. So I don't know. So should I feel like, okay, when I do get to menopause, is it going to be better? But my really, the symptom that is just driving me insane is the hot and cold. So now I'm getting cold, and I guess that's the Mounjaro kicking in. But at first I was hot, and so now that I have the fan on, I'm feeling cold. I have my heater right here, so I have that whole thing going on with the hot and cold. Other than that, it's just my sleep. So one of the things I'm going to try to do is remove my phone from the premises, because I think the phone is the culprit. If I can get the phone out of the way and not go to the phone when I'm up in the middle of the night, I think that will help me get back to sleep, but we shall see. I think I want to say That's So Raina. She left a comment on one of my videos, and I was talking about, I think in one of the videos, how about the whole sleep thing with my sleep. And what's the name? Melatonin. She told me that I have taken a melatonin, and I wake up, I feel kind of like a headache, a little drowsy. And she told me that melatonin, if you take half of it, that would help, because she's also was taking melatonin, and the whole tablet or the whole pill was too much. And so I'm going to try that. I had to buy some more melatonin because I haven't purchased any in a long time, but I'm going to try that. I know they say magnesium helps. That magnesium it's just okay. That magnesium is not overriding what's on this phone. It's the phone. So once I can get rid of that, and just put it out of my sight, I think, maybe put it downstairs, so I really have to walk all the way down the stairs to go get it, something like that. I just need to take action. Oh, good. You've been talking to your daughters about it. I think good. I think starting young is the key. Also, brain health for sure. This just kind of skipped up. Oh, geez, Louise, where was I at? Let's see. Okay. Tammy says there wasn't a lot of new information. No, it wasn't. Was slightly disappointing, but again, Oprah creates awareness, which equals funding. Yes. Yeah, I think it was supposed to be like a 101, like a menopause 101. But actually, if you go on YouTube and she has a podcast, that's more detailed. I will say that. I thought that was more detailed. Oh, Jen, hello, how are you? Okay, here was the super chat mail. It was all the way down here, and I'll read it again. Thank you again for the super chat. Perimenopause is where the chaos lives, said the doctor. I remember that too. In other words, those are the most debilitating years for many women. Yes. And the sad part is many women just suffer through it in silence. They suffer through it in silence, and that's all they really. They don't really talk about it. I think, if the doctor says, they're not prescribing the HRT. So somebody in here said that. I think it was Nadia. So Nadia, what did your doctor tell you to do instead? Because if your doctor says no to the HRT, what is the instead? And so I plan to ask my doctor that, because I'm told she's totally against it. So we will see. Yes, I have a wife, 18 years in September. Yes, I love it. 26 years. I love that. See, you got to come and you got to drop some gems and give us some knowledge on our Friday Night Lives. Bring your wife with you. Maybe she can help us out too. So we're trying to get inside the mind of a guy and trying to figure it all out. But that is awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Oh, she said congratulations. Everyone's saying congratulations. They talked about how the study was misrepresented. Yes, of the increased risk of cancer with the HRT, and it wasn't 26% as they originally presented, but only 0.5%. Yes, thank you for reminding me. They did mention that. And so I just thought, I'm going to have to take that fact to my doctor. I'm going to have to request, actually, I am going to, I said I was going to send her a message because we can text back and forth and let her know that I'm coming. She knows, but, like remind her when I'm coming and let her know that I'm interested in HRT. And I am going to write that fact from the Oprah show and see how she responds and what she says. I kind of want her to be ready. So if there's an alternative, I want you to be already geared up for it. I would just want to know her thoughts on it, basically. I meant beyond childbearing years relative to funding. Okay, yeah. Yes, Mary Claire. Is it? Oh, I didn't say her last name. Haver. Is it Haver? Mary Claire. I call her Dr. Mary Claire. Thank you, Mel. Yes, Delilah's saying that too. Her book is so good. I have to get her book. Remember I was telling you guys about my audio book. I still have 5 credits. I had like 16 credits. I have been following Dr. Claire H for years. The book, The New Menopause, is an excellent resource for understanding the changes occurring during this phase of life. Okay, very good. I'm gonna have to check that out. I'll be listening. Forgot to do today's workout. Also, this storm is bananas. Oh, there's a storm where you are. Jeez Louise. Okay. Nadia says, I can't type today. That's okay. Is increased clumsiness a symptom? I drop everything lately, and let's not even mention the brain fog. The brain fog is a real thing. It really, really is. Jerlene says, I can relate, arthritis in my hands and my fingers. I don't have that yet, but is that oh gosh, I don't want to get that either. I turn my screen as dark. I'll go and sit it downwards. I don't know what you're saying, but I don't know. Oh, I scroll down. Jeez Louise, it scrolled so fast. Hey, Bill Flower, thank you for sending that. I'm going to share her 5 things we could do with the to help with menopause. Some magnesiums help that they aren't all created equal. I get that. I figured that out during this journey. I saw the Oprah special. I too thought it was informative, and I'm hoping these conversations will continue worldwide to help both men and women understand what to expect and how to live with it. Yes, and I said this before. I think it's so important that the men are a part of this conversation too, because they're experiencing it. And I know one of the side effects, which is one of the ones that is widely reported, is moodiness and being cranky. And I think if men understood that, that was a side effect, and just all these changes and things that are going on, I think men probably can relate when it gets to that, the sexual part, right? Because that part is going to directly affect them. But I don't think they may not realize that everything else you're experiencing and you're going through is also a part of it. So, hopefully, some men were watching the Oprah show, or we could, you could refer your husband, your boyfriend, or your significant other. You could refer them to that Oprah special. Let's see. So I scroll. This thing scrolls down. Mel says, I, for one, plan on staying juicy. Not necessarily a sexual reference, but skin softness and clearness, vaginal area softness, all the things. Yes. And you know what? That is so important. I want to stay juicy too. Hi, Dee and fam. Late to the chat tonight. Oh, come on in. Share your menopause wisdom with us. Hey, Dee and fam. Hey, Pamela. Pamela, have you gone through menopause? I can't remember. Are you perimenopausal? I think you're perimenopausal. Kim J, how not to live with it. We have to stop accepting the status quo. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, okay, that's a good mindset shift. I love that. Kim and I discussed this. That's my girl. Yes, yes, yes. Dee organic dark cherry juice for sleep. Yeah, but does it have a lot of carbs? Does it have sugar? Jeez Louise. Okay, but thank you, but I have to check that out. The Oprah special was informative for me since I don't know much about it and haven't begun, but some of my girls are suffering through it, so it's certainly a learning experience. Yes, yes, yes. So I think, yes, what I said, for it was a 10, like to me, menopause 101, but for people who've never experienced it, I think it's, it's good. If your doctor is fully against something as a whole for all women without looking at the individual person, you should look for a new doctor. Not so fast, not so fast. And I think you got to remember too, I also have a gynecologist, so I don't just have one doctor that is the all know be the end all be all. I think my gynecologist is very much more versed on it. And so so that's going to be my resource and go-to, but I just want to know her perspective and what she thinks about it. But ultimately this conversation is going to be for the person that's checking me out down there. So I guess for me, I'm not expecting a whole lot from a person who doesn't specialize in that. I guess that's what I'm thinking. She prescribed GABA for sleep, GABA, but I want all the benefits of HRT, especially the brain fog. Okay, I've never heard of GABA. Have you had GABA? GABA. Have you guys heard of that? Oh my goodness. Oh, Delilah, I agree. My OBGYN was against HRT. My primary care is the one who described it. So we have opposites, Pam, because my primary care doctor is against it. I don't know how my OBGYN feels about it, but I venture to say she probably is supportive of it. Just based on what my experience with her. But we shall see. We shall see. And then Delilah, if that doesn't work with my OBGYN, then I will be searching for another doctor to help out with that. Gabapentin, Nadia, they're asking. Okay. Oh, my mother was in the Women's Health Initiative. They didn't use bioidentical hormone replacement. They used hormones from horses. It was a flawed study, and experts have acknowledged that. Oh my God, they used horses. No. No, that is no wonder. No wonder that data is off. Oh my goodness. Jeez Louise. All right. Yes, Dee Dee, I'm happy celebrities have been talking about it because it can reach a broader audience and hopefully provide more resources for women over the world. Yeah, and Halle Berry is doing a lot with it. She has she has a website and she's talking about resources. She's testifying on Capitol Hill. I mean, she's all in. Nadia, if you don't mind, what is the reason you can't be on it? Is it you can't or your doctor who won't write it? A butterfly says, I was scared to take HRT because of the facial hair growth, someone said, but my doctor don't suggest taking it. Okay, your doctor's another one. Okay. Tammy says, I was in peril for 10 years. Blood panel indicates menopause now. These 10 years were off. Those 10 years were awful. The GLP-1 coupled with HRT has helped with hot flashes, sleep, and weight loss. Yes, very good. And I would venture to say that GLP-1, well, it could all, it probably helped with the weight loss for sure. The hot flashes and sleep, probably that HRT is like, picking up the rear. So you have that combo like Taisha and some of these other ladies going on. Okay. I love that. Mel B, I'm so sorry. And yes, they did. Plus, they only used one form for all of the women with or without a uterus. And most of them were already 60. Were they really? Jeez Louise. Let's stop white knuckling it and start educating ourselves enough to make good decisions, not take what the social media streets say. Yes. I love that, Mel. Let's read that again. She said, let's stop white knuckling it, people, and start educating ourselves enough to make good decisions, not take what the social media streets are saying. I love that. So Pam, you're postmenopausal. Wow. Okay. Wow. You guys, I would never guess you guys are some of the ages that you are, but even though you can start in your 30s, I do realize that. and going through the change. But man, I got up to 900 milligrams a day and it did nothing for me. Oh man, nothing for you. I can't, according to her, because of my labs, I can recall the medical term, but something related to blood clots. Has anybody else heard that? If any doctor is unwilling to look at an individual's history. Okay, very good. Yeah. Some OBGYNs don't have appropriate training either. Yeah, and that's why I say, based on what she say, I'll be finding somebody else. And so I don't have a problem with finding a different doctor if I need to. Gabapentin is an anticonvulsant, also used as a nerve blocker. Okay, never heard. I think I have heard of gabapentin before though. Sometimes I think the younger doctors are more open to HRT. I could be wrong, but I think the older docs are still relying on that older data. I would agree with that, actually. I really would. Yes, my gyno has blood tested me twice in the last couple of years, Bellflower says, to see if I began meno, but it was negative. I was hoping I was to ditch the monthly cycle. Well, that's the kind of when you'll know, right? When those monthly cycles are gone. And I hear I don't hear, when I was researching this, one test is not really, I don't know. Now, perimenopause, there is no one test for that. It's a multitude of things. But for menopause, I hear it's just the 1 year. If you go 1 year without that cycle, having some of these symptoms, you're postmenopausal after that, 366 day. However, Lorraine, and maybe I'll ask her that tomorrow from the downside, she did say she is in menopause, although she has not gone a whole 365 days. And she says it has something to do, she believes, with the GLP-1. So I'm going to find that out from her because I found that fascinating. I found that fascinating. Butterfly, I've never had one hair besides my eyebrows, and I'm on both estradiol and testosterone. Okay. All right. She said male has not experienced that. Linda said that's so true about using horse pee for the hormone replacement back in the day. I remember my aunties talking about it. Geez, Louise, that sounds so primal. I think you're right, Pamela, because there aren't enough. Oh, they weren't old enough to remove the false narrative behind that the media threw at us all. Oh man. Mel, when they say live with it, I plan to live while going through menopause. I too believe we should ensure that we have the tools and resources to be relieved from the effects of it. Yes, I agree too. Like relief is what you need. Relief is what you need. If you're feeling good, okay with your situation, I think you're fine. I have, is that heretourism? I'm not going to mess up that word anymore. So I already deal with the excessive facial hair. Okay. Oh, I remember this. From PCOS. Yes. Oh my goodness. Hair growth, right? Mel said that all women will have to deal with it one day. Well, and if you're blessed to live long enough, yes, you will. You will. Nadia, I'm sorry, but patches have virtually zero chance of increased blood clots, unlike oral, which is an elevated risk, but ever so slightly elevated. Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Women of color have to stop allowing doctors to talk at us versus to us. My mother's generation were order takers. I am not. Yes. No, I am not either. I'm not either. Delilah says, yeah, Dr. Marie Claire even said before she went through menopause, she was a horrible menopause doctor. When she went through it is when she learned and became an advocate. Very good. And most people are like that. Most people learn by experience, by having the experience of it all. Male B plus women of color go through menopause earlier and our symptoms are far greater than Caucasian. Yes, and my gynecologist is an African-American woman, and she's the one who had me doing all these tests way ahead before, you were supposed to take them, like, for example, the colonoscopy, because she said women of color, experience a lot of these things earlier. And so she was advocating for me doing all these different tests earlier then it is suggested. So that's why I say, based on what she says, I kind of, gonna go with what she says. And I really trust in what she says. But if I'm feeling a certain kind of way and I don't get relief from, what she's suggesting, I'll just go and find, another doctor. I do believe in, you advocating for yourself, you advocating for your health, you advocating for your education, you advocating for whatever you do. I am not a quiet person. I'm very outspoken when it's something that I need or want, and something that's especially super important. Sorry, I meant to say sorry to hear that, Nadia. That's okay. Do you guys know if your experience would be much like your parents? Well, so far mine is not, because my mom had a hysterectomy. She had all kinds of things going on, and so far I have not experienced that. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Medical doctors believe that we can take anything. We are strong. We can handle the pain. Meanwhile, we suffer. No, we can't. Yes, yes, yes. And I remember there was a doctor who made a statement about women whining and complaining when they come to the doctor. And, it's like not taking what we say seriously. And I think that's also another reason why women don't speak out, because it was just that thinking has muted a lot of women, right? Bellflower, they do say you're likely to mimic your mother's symptoms and the age she started her period and menopause. Yes, yes, yes. Jerly, my mom never discussed menopause. No, my mom really didn't either. I think she talked about around her surgery when she was having the hysterectomy, but not a whole lot went into that. Like, I can't even remember it. Jerly, my mom either, but my mom went through a hysterectomy at 37 or 38. Wow, that's pretty early. When I took a testosterone shot once, I started growing hair under my arms. I didn't take it anymore. I will discuss more when I go back to my OB this year. Okay, yeah. Well, I think once you start growing hair in odd places, that'll turn you right off. My mom experienced it in her early 40s due to breast cancer. Her experience was pretty mild if I would compare it to others that have experienced it. Okay, very good. So that mild. So maybe you'll have that same, with the mild symptoms. I mean, Jolene, my mom never discussed anything women's health related with me. Yeah, I think it's just it was such a stigma to discuss things about our health a long time ago. I didn't believe my GYN when he told me I was perimenopausal and it would last 15 years. He was right. 15 years, because I went into post-menopause 15 years later. Jeez Louise. So it's kind of like he spoke that into existence. Oh, I'm laughing at Mel's comment. Mel, I was just about to go to something else, and then I saw your comment. My mom never talked to my mom about periods either. So the day I started, I thought I was dying. Literally, I had no idea women bleed normally. Now, my mom did have that conversation with me. I wasn't prepared for it. I don't think you were ever prepared for the first time, because it's like a shock, but I kind of knew it was coming. Something was coming, I think. I'm pretty sure. I think I was like a late bloomer. I don't know. I think I was in fifth or sixth grade when I started my cycle, and I wasn't expecting it. Don't we grow hair under our arms though? I mean, a little bit, right? Okay, so I don't know, Kim. Were you growing hair? Was it kind of abnormal? My mom discussed menopause with my sister and I. Her symptoms were almost null and void except for a few hot flashes. I definitely mimicked my mom. Okay, very good. That's good to know. That's good to know. So some moms are discussing it, right? I mean, it's not an all or nothing type thing, but a lot of moms aren't talking about it. So maybe now, in 2025, maybe people will talk more about, the symptoms and all of that with their children. So, well, some ways that, Mounjaro and Zepbound, and I would venture to say Ozempic and Wegovy, any GLP-1, they're going to support that weight loss when you're having all these hormonal shifts going on. So that's a way that the GLP-1 can help. They can improve sleep. Now, that I haven't experienced, and energy by promoting weight loss. So that weight loss is key. That weight loss is going to be key to helping with menopause, perimenopause, and just, as you're aging, right? Building muscle and losing fat is going to be helpful. GLP-1s improve your insulin resistance. So, we talk about that a lot, they're going to lower your blood sugar levels, right? They're going to, aid in, helping you burn fat instead of storing the fat. So all those things are going to help with, when you're in your menopause phase. So I'm feeling pretty confident that, I'm taking the GLP-1 because maybe it is, making my experience not as difficult. GLP-1s reduce cravings and reduces emotional eating, and that craving, that it takes away is key, right? And if you're not craving things that are fatty foods, processed foods, that's going to contribute to the weight loss, is going to contribute to, balancing out, that blood sugar level, your metabolism with how much you're eating, that all of those things are going to be helpful when you're losing weight. And the emotional eating, I think the emotional eating, the GLP-1s help with that because it's suppressing your appetite. So, I've been having some emotional things going on in this last week, and tonight is my injection night. I just thought about that. So I've been having some emotional things going on, and I've upped my protein to kind of help with the cravings, and not the cravings, but I would say like the food noise I was having, that has gotten better since I've upped my my protein. Increased it, I should say. But that emotional eating, I used to emotionally eat, and I guess it would be maybe sometimes binge eating, just eat a whole lot at one time and then don't eat for a while and then I'll eat a whole lot. And so, I remember doing that, taking in so many calories, calling up DoorDash. I still haven't had the desire to do that, right? To just, gouge on things. And now, gorge, I should say. And now, when I have a desire to have like, something that I have a craving for, it's like that little taste of it. And that's it. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. And so I know it's because of this GLP-1. So, geez, oh man, it's super helpful. It's just super helpful on your journey, your weight loss journey. GLP-1s can also improve your cardiovascular health. And I don't know if you guys were, I think I may have talked about this in my members only live, where we talked about my cousin and how she's trying to get approved for Zepbound. And one of the things her doctor told her, she's 4'11", so she's 4'11", and she's at I want to say she's at 189. And she said her doctor told her that weight is impacting her cardiovascular health. And so, she's hoping. I was supposed to talk to her today, so I'll try to catch up with her tomorrow. She did not text me or try to call me. So I'm thinking she did not get approved for Zepbound because her insurance did not approve her. But GLP-1 is going to improve that cardiovascular health. And, one of the best things that it does, besides, lowering your blood sugar level and, besides, helping with insulin resistance, is it really is going to be beneficial with that inflammation, right? Inflammation. I felt a lack of, my joints and my knees and all of that pain. I want to say like the first week. I know the first couple of weeks, it was just gone. And I was just like, what? Is this real? Now, I'm not going to say, because I don't know if I should say the name, but I heard a content creator recently say that once they stopped taking the medication, they started to get the knee pain, joint pain, moving with ease was not happening without that GLP-1. And so I just thought, wow, I can't imagine, going off and being able to maintain my weight, but having all those other aches and pains come back. Can you guys imagine? What would you do? You'd probably be back on it. Some of you are saying, I never go off of it. So yeah, I think about that because that's one of the beauties. I can run up and down the stairs and jet up and down my stairs like it's no tomorrow, right? And before, I would go up, but it was a struggle. I was breathing hard at the top. And I know the weight has a lot to do with that, but I was noticing that I was, when I had lost like just 5 or 10 pounds, the same thing, not even before I maybe even lost 5 pounds, I just felt that inflammation just go. And that's just a beautiful thing. I don't know how you can replace that feeling. by taking this GLP-1. So those are the things you could do. That is how you can, Mounjaro and Zepbound and any other GLP-1 can help you with menopause. Now, when I watched that lady, and I'm glad Bellflower is in here, when I watched that doctor, I should say, I said that lady, when I watched Dr. Mary Claire, she recommended 5 things that we could do to help with menopause, 5 things that we can do. And so really a GLP-1 is going to help with all of these things. It really is. So except for, I don't know about this number 3, but we could talk about that. So the first thing she said was, and I found this interesting that she put this first on the list, but she put this first on the list. She said, watch your fiber intake. You should get at least 25 grams of fiber. She says it's going to help your gut microbiome. It's going to decrease your hunger cues, she said, which we know because, it suppresses the appetite. And she says it's going to actually help with the rate that your blood sugar level rises up. She said it's going to do all those things by increasing your fiber. And I just was thinking, okay, she was going to say sugar, right? Just sugar. I didn't realize that increasing that fiber is going to do all those things as well. So the last day, yesterday, when I tracked my meal, I got 44 grams of fiber, 43, or did I get 45? Got 45. So I remember my record was the 44. And so I got 45 grams of fiber. I want to say what's today? Wednesday was Monday. It wasn't yesterday, because yesterday, I was struggling to get in enough of my protein in there, but I still got the fiber in there. But and it's just because I wasn't hungry. I ate so late, and then I intermittent fasted too long on Monday, and so that kind of just stopped me from getting everything in there. Or yesterday. So I was able to get it in on Monday. So anyway, so watch your fiber intake and make sure you get 25 grams of fiber. And she said, at least. So I thought that was a good tip. The second thing she said you could do is limit your added sugars, the processed food, limit the 25 grams of processed food or less. Now you guys might be saying, what does that mean? She's saying like processed foods where you're not fruits and vegetables, but anything else that has sugar that is added to it. So I'm thinking, if you're eating spaghetti, if you don't make your own spaghetti sauce and can kind of monitor how much sugar you're putting in, a lot of spaghetti sauces have a ton of sugar. If you are, eating, a certain kind of dressing, your favorite dressing, check and see how many processed sugars that has. So it's a lot of things that people are getting these extra sugars. She said most people average 100 grams of processed sugars that are in processed foods, and she said you should limit that to 25. So I think that's a clear guideline you could use if you're really somebody who's trying to help with your menopause symptoms. And she said fruit is a yes. Fruit is not included in the sugars because fruits has vitamins and nutrients in it. So not the fruits, but everywhere else you're getting those added sugars, limit those. Number 3, she said prioritize the sleep. And, again, that's something for me, I'm, continuously working on. A lot of women who take the GLP-1, say that that's one of the things that it's affecting, your sleep. So one of the things you could do is, with the sleep is it helps me to have my room dark. It helps me not to have the room so hot. So usually I need to turn on my, heater in the middle of the night because I might get cold because the temperature in my house is sometimes I used to try to keep it on 68 but down 65, maybe sometimes even lower than that. But with the GLP-1 medication, it's gonna make you cold too, so you just kind of have to balance it out. But I'm not having like hot flashes though. It's not a hot flash, it's just the heat's kicking on and I can feel it in the room when it kicks on. So I have to kind of lower that down. So prioritizing that sleep, and a good rule of thumb is between 7 and 9 hours of sleep. 8 usually is that magic number. But when I get 7 hours, when I even get 6 hours, I'm so proud of myself. But 7, it's just like, there's no stopping me. I'm gonna start texting Mel and let her know how many hours of sleep I'm getting. Number 4, limit your alcohol. And I love that she did say that it affects your sleep. And I love how she's, stressed that, one glass of wine is okay, but anything after that is too much. And she said, really, it's going to affect your sleep. It's just going to make you not as productive, right? And I could, we know what alcohol does to you. I could totally see that. And she said, it's just not helping you at all. So if you're somebody who likes alcohol, likes to have a good cocktail, I would definitely scale back. And, she did say one glass of wine is probably, what you should have, and that's it. If you just, need to have alcohol. And the number 5 thing, the 5th thing that she talked about is exercise. She says movement. You got to get that movement in. And this is all of what we preach on our GOP1s, right? We preach all these things. So it just made me feel so good because we're already doing a lot of these things, right? And she says, back in the day and in my time, that's probably why I was never a big exerciser. I never saw like anybody in my family, any women in my family, or the guys would go and like work out with weights. My brother had like weights. I think he had weights like, the kind you buy. But as he got older, he would go to the gym. But women always never really worked out because no women in my family were overweight, right? And so working out and exercise and movement was always connected to how big you were. So if you were thin, which most of them were thin, they weren't exercising. Nobody ever talked about exercising as a form of, your bone health and bone density and working on, your muscle mass and all of that. So exercise was always related to whether you're going to be thin or not. And if you're already thin, then you weren't doing anything. And so now we know, we have debunked that. We know that that's not true. We know that exercise and that strength training and moving your body is going to be beneficial for, helping you with, weight loss, helping you sleep. I mean, when I do work out, on those days I work out, I probably sleep the best out of those nights I'm working out. And I'm working out 3 times and most of the time 4 times a week. And so that is just, helpful. So I do notice a difference when on the days that I'm not working out. Like tonight is one of those nights I don't work out on a Wednesday night usually. So we'll see. But I do take my injection tonight. So we'll see how I sleep, if I sleep like a baby or not. And she stressed that muscle is going to keep you healthy as you age. That muscle is going to keep you healthy, and it's as you age, the more muscle you have, the better off you'll be. And I always say, if nothing else, when you fall, you want to fall and be able to get back up and keep it moving. I know so many people that fall when they get older. It's saying I have 23 comments. Jeez Louise. I know some people when they say as you get older and you fall. I mean, I know people who've gotten older and have fallen and just they were never the same. So that we don't want to have that experience. So let's see, where were we at? Okay, Kim talked about, I remember her about the growing the hair. Okay. Oh, geez, Louise. There are menopause virtual options for those who need it. Okay, I didn't know that. I never took the medication, Jolene says, because I've always been afraid of the side effects. Okay. And then Linda's saying, my mom discussed, I read that. Your mom discussed it with you and you think you're going to mimic your mom. Okay, Delilah says her mom never talked to her about it. Okay, all right. So I think I'm back on track down here. MIDI Health and Alloy. Okay, so they're the virtual online options for menopause. Mel says, my mom discussed it because she was in that study, but I still had milk on my tongue. We were too young to get it. Yes. But my mom discusses it now. Very good. So you have her as a definite resource. So I love that. Linda said, I started my cycle at age 10. Thank goodness for my mom and dad. I have always had a 3 days, and that's it, Linda. Did anyone else start their cycle very early in life? So I want to say I was 11 or 12. I want to say I was 11 or 12. I think I was 11 going on 12. So is that considered early? Anybody else? And you were 10, so I was a little bit older, but my cycles have always been 5 days, sometimes 7. And then as I got older, it would go down to 5 days. So let me see if I can get in that app. And see if I could get in the app so I can know when my last, might be now my last cycle on YouTube. That's too funny. Okay. Hello, Sandy B. Oh my God. Look at that beautiful profile pic. Look at that hair. Look at those lashes. Look at those cheekbones. I'm loving your pic. You are beautiful. Hello, hello, and welcome. My girlfriend was prescribed Wegovy for her cardiovascular health a year ago, and she is 80 pounds down. Been such a benefit and a blessing to her. I'm sure it has. That is so cool. 80 pounds down. I love that. I love that. I'm 15 pounds away from that. Linda's journey. Yes, I was 9 years old. 9 years old. That does sound so young. Jeez, Louise. I bet you kids nowadays are going to, you know, have it even younger, experience it even younger, because I think all the hormones and things in these foods are going to, start early growth. So, geez, Louise. Rheumatoid arthritis has gone because of Zepbound. Yes, I can relate to that. I can't imagine going back to the pain of inflammation. Me either. I always say I don't want to stay on these medications forever. And I always connect it to the weight loss and thinking I can maintain, because, I think I can, especially after my DEXA scan today. But I know what's going to really get me to stay on that is basically this inflammation. I don't want to be feeling like aches and pains of all that. Linda, I started the day after my 9th birthday, 34 years, and I'll never have another. Oh my gosh. Yes, yes, yes. Well, I think you should probably are glad about that. I'm struggling with my cholesterol. I saw my lab results and it wasn't good. My doctor's going to be upset that I stopped taking the meds 2 weeks in and my cholesterol went up higher. Really? Is it higher? Because over 200 is for that, that total number. How far over are you with that? Yeah. You have some wiggle room in there. It just depends on how far over you are. Oh, sorry. Thank you for sharing, Mel. Mindy Health and Alloy are amazing options, also recommended by the Menopause Society. Oh my gosh, very good. You guys are some experts up in here. I love it. Thank you. Butterfly, perimenopause, menopause is known to have an effect on cholesterol as well. Yes, yes, yes. So yeah, I was told that when I was talking about my results. And then when I was doing my research, I did see that too. So, but it's just kind of like, what do you do? It's like if you do A, B happens. If you do B, C happens. If you do, it's just, you can't win. Jeez Louise. That's also because fruits don't have the added sugar. It produces its own sugar. Yes, and it has vitamins and nutrients, though, that, like candy does not, or, some of these other things with the added sugars in it, they don't have. So, yeah, that natural sweetness. And now that I'm not eating a bunch of sugar and candy, when I eat an apple, it's sweet. Even though now, except for the green apples, that still has that sour taste. But a regular apple tastes super sweet to me now. It's not for some reason. It's because, I'm not used to eating the sweets like that. Delilah, I was wondering if that was the problem. Thank you for sharing. Yes, and your doctor should be able to share that with you as well, too. But yeah, you have to keep us posted. At 0.5 milligrams of estradiol made the excessive night sweat stop. Okay, very good. See, I don't have excessive night sweats. I can only imagine waking up drenched with, oh gosh, oh God, that probably would get me to go there and take and try to get that patch. Butterfly, you're welcome. Delilah saying, wow, Delilah, I was glad my mom had talked to me about what to expect, or otherwise I would have been horrified. It happened in my sleep, so I woke up a hot mess, but my parents were there for me. Very good. I love that. I love that. You had that parental support. And now I'm on 1 milligram to help with my sleep and brain fog, but most else was much controlled with just the 0.5. Okay, very good. Very good. So same for Linda. In my sleep, I thought I had wet the bed and freaked out and went to the bathroom and realized it was your cycle had started and you were screaming and crying. I truly believed I was dying. Oh, that is traumatic for a young girl if you don't know. Anything about it. I can't even imagine. Z, it seems like it was more common than I thought. Taisha's all finished with that workout. Z, you too. What is it with the 9-year-olds? Oh my gosh. Mel was 13. Okay, very good. I remember like it was yesterday, says Z. And I remember starting mine too. And I was actually in school in the cafeteria. I was in the cafeteria and I was so embarrassed. Yeah, I remember it like it was, no, I don't remember it like it was yesterday, but I remember it vividly. There's a high percentage of women who die from osteoporosis breaks. I can relate. I know a couple of folks, and those that don't die within a single year from the break. Yes, yes, that's why I said those breaks, those falls. You know, so I say get that life alert, get somebody in there that, is checking on you and making sure you're okay. And even if you have to sit down while you're lifting weights or doing something with weights, I would definitely incorporate that because that's going to help, keep those bones strong. Taisha, glad you're back. We've been talking about the mist. The most. Oh, the most. Okay. Delilah says it's like 55 to 70% die from the break. Then the other rate dies within the first year. That's so high. That is high. I remember you sharing that statistic before. That's very high. Can't wait to hear about your DEXA. Yes, 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 yes. Oh, I'm telling you, I was shocked by my DEXA results. I was thinking I wasn't going to share. It's like to make a dedicated video to, but I have to make a dedicated video to it. I learned so much about that with that DEXA scan, but I'll digress. I'll have to chat about that another time. But thank you, Sandy. She says I was having periods at 60. You are. Wait a minute. Are you 60? I thought it would never stop. 60. You are not 67. Gosh, you give me such hope. Oh my goodness. 67 now and hot flashes are gone finally. Sandy, oh my gosh, I would have never guessed you're 67. Very good. But you were having periods at 60. I do not want that to be me. Not that part of being 60. Jeez, Louise. Wow. So hot flashes are gone finally. Wow. Very good. Well, good for you. Oh my goodness. You earned it though. You earned being done with it. Look at that. 60 and you were still having cycles. Jeez, Louise. I was going to say Sandy B, I would still be menstruating at 62 if you didn't have the procedure, right? Yes, we can win, Dee Dee. Yes, yes, yes. Jerlene says I had my DEXA scan today too. Oh my gosh, it went real smooth, but I was informed my insurance company will be charged $700. But you don't have to pay that, right? But the insurance company has to pay $700. That is pricey. That's like price gouging. Jeez Louise. Especially when Taisha's getting it for $25. Jeez Louise. I guess it. I hate it. I was rating, I guess it. I hate it. I need a higher dose. I shower every night and every morning. So much sweat. If I didn't drink a gallon of water a day, I'd probably be dehydrated. Oh my God. So yeah, you probably do need a higher dose. I would say. Mel says I'm on 1 milligram of estradiol and 0.5 of testosterone gel. Okay, very good. So you probably do need to go up, Taisha. The excessive night sweats didn't start until the night of my hysterectomy and stopped the first 0.5 dose. But the heat flashes at night haven't left. It wakes me up, but getting so much better with the 1 milligram. Okay, very good. Wow, geez, Louise. I was in school too, in gym class, in the girls' locker room. Oh my goodness. I was in the cafeteria. Isn't that crazy how we remember where we were? You might, Taisha, is work so well for me moving up, and now I'm not sweating puddles anymore. Kim said, I had a partial hysterectomy years ago, but due to fibroids and mad bleeding and the menopause symptoms started soon after. I've white knuckled it with more recent combos with ladies. I'll discuss it with my OB 2025. Very good, Kim. Very good. I love how you're taking action. Taisha, will you look into Avamis estrol? It's a spray, 1 spray, milligram, and so on. Yeah, you were talking to me about that spray. It sounds like it's so convenient to just spray it. I'm taking 1 spray, and it's been good thus far. My rheumatoid arthritis, Linda said, was so serious in rheumatoid past that I had broken my foot in half just from walking. So many breaks and fractures and screws implanted to hold my bones in place. Oh no, oh my goodness. But you said Zepbound has helped. That sounds so painful. I never heard anybody say it quite like that. Jeez Louise. Oh my goodness. I will definitely ask about it. I meet with the women's health pharmacist in 2 weeks. Woohoo! Very good. Oh, sorry, guys. Linda said Zepbound has definitely saved me. My bones are doing great. Very good. Now, Linda, have you ever had a DEXA scan? And if so, what does it say? Mel says, Taisha says to Mel, I'm so happy that you're knowledgeable about this stuff. You're a real gem. Yeah, she is. She is. I got my DEXA last Friday and was like, oh my, I have some homework. Yes, I do too. I wanted the patch, but I have a severe sensitivity to adhesive. They don't recommend it for me. Aw, oh, I'm sorry about that. I'm so sorry to hear that, Linda. Ouch. Yeah, that sounds so, oh my gosh, just so painful. But we're glad, though, that the Zepbound has kicked in. The Zepbound has come to the rescue, to the rescue. All right, so oh my goodness, so thank you guys. You guys have dropped some gems in here. Like when I finally do get to my menopause, let me see if that app is up. I'm gonna see if I could check. You never had a DEXA scan? Okay. Let me see if it's gonna let me see when my last cycle was. Jeez, Louise. Oh my goodness. This is crazy. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, am I at a year? So my last cycle was in August. I cannot believe my last cycle was in August. Jeez, Louise, I've been easy breezy, lemon squeezy. So fresh and so clean. Wow, this is why this is good to track it because I mean, unless I had written it down on a calendar, I would not have known. So if I could go to just this before school starts back without a cycle, I'm in there. Geez, Louise, I'm in shock. I just shocked myself on YouTube. I didn't realize it has been since April. I knew it was a long time. Geez, Louise. Inquiring minds want to know, Kim. And Linda has never had that DEXA scan. Mary had a DEXA scan. Good report. Women are starting to use estrogen cream on their face. On their face. And Mary, I'm sorry. I love those bunnies. Oh my gosh. Look how cute. That is adorable. Very good. Look at her crochet bunnies. I love it. Linda said, thank you. When I say awesome, Miss Linda, I'm talking about I'm happy the GLP-1 has helped you so much. Yeah, that's what I was saying too. That's what I said. You were talking about the Zepbound because she said Zepbound. Have anybody heard of this? She said Zepbound helped her. Has anybody heard of this estrogen cream, using it on your face like Mary says? Has anybody heard of that? I for one have not. But that's Mel. Does Mel know? Mel knows all things or a lot of things about this menopause. She's going to be one of our helpful guides. Have you ever heard of that, Mel? Taisha says no. Yes, they are estradiol face creams. Okay, I've never heard of that. I wonder, is it effective? Yep, I have and do it. You do it too, Delilah? Oh my goodness. You know I have. Yes, yes, yes. Oh my goodness, that is so cool. Okay, well, anybody else, anything else you want to offer on this journey? Do you want to about the all things menopause? Anything you're taking that works? We talked about the estradiol. Look at now we talk about this face cream. I never even knew they had it. Anybody have anything besides the HRT patch for the sleep? Estrogen on the face will help with the wrinkles. Well, I need to buy some of that ASAP. Jeez Louise. um, uh, so yeah, we, just besides the HRT, we talked about the estradiol. That is the HRT, but the cream I'm talking about, I never heard of that cream. The spray, Mel hooked us onto the spray. Anything else? Beverly, hey guys, I fell asleep. I just woke up. You know, us older girls got to get a nap and where we can. Look at your beautiful profile pic. Oh my gosh, I just love it, love it, love it. But my dermatologist said it's a trend with no medical studies to collaborate anecdotal results. Okay, so it's kind of just, but let's see, Delilah, does it work? It has amazing effects on our aging skin and can be used in conjunction with the HRT. So you've noticed a difference. Oh, wow. All right. Well, before we leave, are you guys celebrating anything? Any weight losses? My weight loss, I am down 65.2 pounds. I'm excited about that. So that's my loss. What about you guys? And then I do want to say Delilah is going live. Delilah is going live on Saturday at 11. Now, is Delilah? It's 11 my time Eastern, so it's 12 your time. Texas is because you're in Texas, right? So tell us more about that, Delilah, because I want people to go and support you on your live. I'm so proud of you. I know you were like so reluctant to go live, so that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Let's see. Mary says, I got some estrogen cream. My dermatologist disagrees with your dermatologist, man. Derm against derm. I just sent you a DM on IG, Taisha, with pictures of the Eva Mist. Okay. Thank you. Mel says, let me know how it goes, girl. Touche, Delilah. Touche. Yes, Beverly, I had to take a nap to come to the live tonight. Yes. Oh my gosh. And, I'm hoping to sleep good tonight. I'm going to take my injection, Jerlene, and I am going to luxuriate. And, geez, I wish I didn't have to get up to take my daughter somewhere to school, but I got to get up for that. Yeah, I just have things to do. Don't forget tomorrow night too. We are going live with the Downsize. So let me take this off. It will be the Downsized, myself, and Simply Taisha. So come tomorrow. It's at 7 p.m. Ask your questions. Hopefully we have answers. We're going to try to make it fun. We're going to have some questions. My goal is to make them smile and laugh. I can make Taisha laugh easily. My goal is to make the Downsized laugh and have some fun. So, we're going to be asking some questions that just to get to know us in a different kind of fun way. But we are going to be talking about all things GLP-1. So if you have questions, they're very, versed in this whole compound situation. So if you're taking compounds, you want to be there or be square. Taisha knows all things Zepbound. She's taking Zepbound and she's in maintenance. And then I am very well versed on Mounjaro, and I am on my way to losing 100 pounds. I'm down 65. So I just thought when somebody said someone was down 80 pounds, I thought that's 15 more to go before I get to 80. That's a goal I see in sight. And so, so we are, and then we've all, I think, have 1 year plus or more experience with these GLP-1. So, we're just going to be talking and hamming it up. So I'm excited about that. So what are you guys celebrating? And then Delilah, I hope you put the information about your live in here so we could share that, because that's where I'll be on Saturday morning. And then I work out with Kim J on Saturday, Delilah. So, but I'll be there. Wait. Oh, okay. Oh, so that's good. No. Let me see. Okay. 73 pounds. Yay. That is so cool. 73 pounds gone as of today. Z, don't you feel so great and so accomplished? I love that. 73 pounds is wonderful. That's like my daughter and half of her friend. If you look at it from that perspective, I love it. Okay, so Delilah's live is at 8 was that Pacific time, 9 a.m. Mountain time, 10 oh, you got it all. 10 a.m. Central time and 11 a.m. Eastern time. Jeez, Louise, I love it. Okay, all right. Be there or be square. Yay, Delilah, I'll be there to support you on Saturday. Yes, yes, yes. I was hoping to get off the medication, Kim says. Sounds like I'll get off some. It sounds like I'll get off some to get on more. I know, Kim, great minds think alike. I was thinking the same thing. Hopefully they'll find that GOPs help with menopause too. Yes, I think it definitely has helped with mine. I mean, I will say that. I really believe that it has helped with mine. So, yeah, it's helped with those symptoms. Before I stopped having the cycle, it brought that cycle back under control. So, yeah. Thank you, Delilah says. Bev gets her naps in. Yes, 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 Bev. These commercials are getting on my nerve. Oh, you in the commercials too. Yeah, you guys aren't used to it though. That's all because for so long I've been on a marathon without being, having commercials. And now YouTube is like, oh yes, we can put ads on her videos. All right, all right. So yeah, just click it, Bev, and come on back in here. And by the way, always forget to say that, subscribe to this channel. If you're watching this channel, if this is your first time watching and you're not, or 60% of people that are watching these videos are not subscribed. So subscribe to my channel, like the live. That really helps push the live out. I appreciate that. I remembered to say it. I said I was going to put up a little thing. I need to get those signs that Simply Taisha has. So I could just have it and it could remind me. And Taisha, you gotta help me get those signs. Okay, that was just a little Bev sparked me to remember. Okay, she says I'm gonna miss you guys on Friday night, but I guess I'll watch the replay. Yes, 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 because you're going out of town. Safe travels for you, my friend. Safe travels. I'm really excited about it. Yes, yes, yes. I'm looking forward tomorrow to tomorrow with Taisha, LD and CD. Yes, 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 yes. Oh my goodness. I am too. People are saying awesome to Z. There you go. Look at you. Yes, yes, yes. That is awesome. I'm celebrating 3 more pounds down, making it 98. Yes. 98. Jeez Louise, you're going to be at that 100-pound mark. Oh my goodness. I love that for you, Linda. That is so awesome. I'm feeling you on that one, Beverly. She says, okay, Beverly is 42.6 pounds down. Yes, yes, yes. I love that. By the way, she says but my weigh day is tomorrow morning. Hopefully there will be some more pounds down. Okay, very good. Probably, but you're doing awesome. You are doing awesome. I'll be at Pilates Saturday morning, but I'll watch the replay. Love it. In 57 weeks. Jeez Louise, you are doing it. So you're almost at 100 pounds. Jeez Louise, I love that. Love it. I'm on my way to be 350 pounds down. Don't care how long it takes. I'll be there one day sooner than later anyway. Yes, yes, yes. That's what it is. That mindset and putting that action behind it. I love that. Well, so far I'm not as hot. Now I'm cold. That's me, Kim. If I'm not hot, I'm cold. Delilah, make sure we don't miss her. Yes, yes. This time it didn't trigger one. Okay, very good. I got you. I got you. Beverly, because I stay here thinking, what time is it? Only 13 likes, 21 viewers. Hit the beautiful like button or hit the like button, beautiful ladies. I said it the other way around. I hate the commercials too, but I grit and bear it. I guess one day mine will be the same. Now I digress. Yes, yes, yes. Because I know we talked about that in Twan's live too with those commercials. Congratulations, Z. Awesome again. Miss Linda is down 98 pounds. Isn't that awesome? People are saying congratulations. I'm just gonna go through these. Love it, love it. There are so many amazing results in this group. Unbelievable. Yes, yes, yes. I love it. I'm so proud of us all. Yes, yes, yes. I agree. We'll get there soon. Congrats to Z. You are a champion. Very good. All right. Well, that wraps us up for tonight. I guess I will see you guys on Thursday. Tomorrow is Thursday already. Taisha and I will see you on tomorrow at 7. We're looking forward to it. And then I'll see you guys on Friday. On Friday, we're going to be having more of some dating things. We're going to be playing some games, having some fun. I'm going to make the title related to something with weight loss just because I want to, I got to keep this algorithm working in our favor. So I will see you guys on tomorrow. Have a good night. Have a good night. Happy hump day, evening, afternoon, night. Night. It is night. All right, bye. Thank you for coming. Thank you for chatting it up. I learned a lot. Thank you for sharing.
Downsizing, Diva, and I'm here to stay. Feeling good, taking my GLP-1.